Welcome back folks, my name is LastKnownMeal and it is that time of the year again where we will go through everything CDPR has planned for Cyberpunk 2077 and when to expect it. And in the end we will also talk about some other projects from CD Projekt like the Molasses Flood Witcher game for broader audiences as they say. So without further wasting your time, Happy New Year and let's get into this. First off, when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077 content in this year, the biggest by far is of course Phantom Liberty expansion, which is set to release sometimes in the first quarter of this year, which started right now and extends until the end of March, I believe, unless it's different in Poland. Now one thing which became suspicious to me is that they stopped mentioning that first quarter part, and a little part of me expects a new delay either to second or third quarter of 2023, which I know is doom and gloom, but my PTSD starts working from previous releases, CDPR did, and that they are prone to delays. Of course, on the other side, what could also be happening is that they are keeping quiet until they're ready to show it, even if it's still in the first quarter of this year. It aligns with their strategy of not showing much. Even The Witcher 3 Next Gen upgrade release date was confirmed relatively short to it, or well revealed. People assumed it would be delayed again, which was fair. So for now I will just assume Q1 of 2023 unless something changes, which could definitely happen. The expansion itself will bring a new district into the game, Dogtown, or well expand a bit as well on Pacifica or aka Combat Zone. They did release a new trailer with Idris Elba, so it could be that they're gearing up for their espionage cyberpunk story, which is going to reveal a lot about new United States government and probably a lot more conspiracies as well. Personally, I like the way of doing an expansion in this way, since for me detective stories or just stories which have a more thriller in it are generally chef's kiss, if done right of course. Besides that, I do expect more cyberware for us to wear, new weapons, maybe some expanded skills, or even a new feature to enhance our gear, like The Witcher 3 introduced new features in Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone. The expansion is also only for next gen or well current gen consoles and PC. Last gen won't be receiving any more updates to the game I think, or at least nothing major. And this brings us to patch 1.7, which is supposed to either come out again in Q1 of this year, and it's going to change the police system, allow combat from vehicles, better melee system and much more that they keep mentioning, but we shall see it, once it comes out. Keep in mind the patch could also release when expansion comes out, but if you ask me, only if expansion stays for Q1 of this year, since they can release patch 1.7 to soften the blow from potential delay of Phantom Liberty, in my personal opinion, if that turns out to be the case. And also patch 1.7 is going to be only available on current gen and PC. But in any case, two things which are certain for this year unless they pull some parkour again and push it to 2024, which I think is highly unlikely. So this year patch 1.7, expansion, hotfixes for that expansion and maybe patch 1.7, because technically they could have time for it, but it doesn't mean that patch 1.8 will be bigger than 1.7 or 1.6, that is completely speculative at this point. But one thing is certain, support for Cyberpunk will go down, and is going down. I do think 1.7 is the last major patch for vanilla game without expansion in terms of features in general, and after that they will leave the engine and completely focus on Unreal Engine and games made in that engine. On SteamDB in depots you can see that they're actively changing branches, which means they're working on the patch actively right now, because I doubt this is going to be a branch for the expansion itself. Maybe, I don't know. A big plus in their production right now is that they don't have to worry about last gen, or at least won't be porting and optimizing there, which should, not will, but should give them a better focus on polishing and optimization on current systems. And for announcements, well, I don't expect anything in January. I would wait for February to hear something new about Cyberpunk in general, either a confirmation on the release date or a delay. Now when it comes to other projects CDPR is working on, we know about the new Witcher saga, The Witcher 1 remake and The Witcher game from Molasses Flood, which I have a hunch will be single-player co-op survival game or some hybrid of it based on previous style and games, Molasses Flood was making, especially since CDPR said that they won't be, giving Molasses Flood a specific task, rather than Molasses Flood has an idea in one of the IPs CDPR has, which in this case turns out to be, the Witcher IP. And for Cyberpunk, besides the expansion, we have Cyberpunk sequel, or well, new Cyberpunk. Besides that, they're also working on Project Hadar, which is a completely new in-house IP from CD Projekt. What is it exactly? Well, no one has the slightest clue. Of course, keep in mind that besides expansion and maybe Molasses Flood game, all of this is far into the future. The Molasses Flood Witcher game might come out at the end of this year, but that is incredibly optimistic. My guess would be 2024. Even though it's the project with the smallest team, it doesn't mean it's going to be a small project. They still have support directly from CDPR on the actual development. And that's pretty much it when it comes to Cyberpunk and CDPR in general. Witcher 3 Next Gen upgrade will also, I guess, keep receiving hotfixes, but besides that, I don't expect anything else major from it. But fear not, because expansion will be more than enough for me this year to give you content. Of course, I will be covering other games as they come out right now throughout this year, but of course, at least when it comes to Cyberpunk, there is going to be a lot, and I honestly cannot wait for all of the new videos I'm going to create for you. If you enjoyed this video, click that like and subscribe button for more, and join our community on Twitter and Discord. Also, huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters, and if you wanted to support the channel in an extra way, you can do it on Patreon or directly on YouTube. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.